We begin today actually with some serious news. The principal of LeBron James's I Promise school in Akron is on administrative leave after allegations that she hit a student. Will Ewick is live in Akron this evening and joins us now with the details. So Will, walk us through these allegations.
Yeah, Betsy, Brandi Davis is the principal down here at the I Promise school. She is right now put on paid leave as Akron Public Schools looks into these allegations and does their investigation. Now, Davis, not only the principal here at the school since it began in 2018, but she's also been on the LeBron James Family Foundation board since it began as well.
This school is like no other. We are going to be that groundbreaking school that will be a nationally recognized model.
That was Davis back in 2018, preparing to lead the charge at the I Promise school when it first opened its doors to students. In the police report, the mother of the student says Davis called her and said she hit her son after he said something she deemed offensive. A source tells 3 News that the principal lost her cool and slapped a student across the face in front of others. Davis, a 20-year veteran of the Akron Public Schools, a teacher, assistant principal, and a graduate from the University of Akron. District spokesperson Mark Williamson released a statement to 3 News saying, quote, Akron Public Schools has begun an investigation into an allegation that a child was struck by a staff member at I Promise School. We take all such allegations seriously, while also respecting the rights of staff accused of wrongdoing to due process. IPS Principal Brandi Davis has been placed on administrative leave pending the outcome of our fact-finding investigation, end quote. 3 News is the media partner of the LeBron James Family Foundation, and we reached out to them about this matter. They sent a statement saying, quote, we are family, and that means we support every one of our I Promise educators, students, and family members through anything they may be going through. In this and in every case, we will always do everything we can to make sure all are loved and supported during these times as we learn and grow as a family, end quote.
The I Promise school here in Akron was founded for students that were deemed academically at risk. They actually just graduated their original class of 2021 a few months ago. A story, Betsy, that will continue to stay on and provide any details as we get them in here and online, WKYC.com.
Certainly a lot of eyes watching this one. Thanks so much, Will.
Well, throughout the pandemic, Governor Mike DeWine has always said keeping kids in school is a top priority. And today he announced the new Vax to School initiative program designed to do just that, offering scholarships to students who get the vaccine. Brandon Simmons has the details on the program. Brandon, good afternoon to you. A lot of people have been waiting for this. What more can you tell us about it?
Yeah, a lot of people are looking for incentives. Now, in total, this program is smaller than the first Vax a Million program that we saw, but it's also targeted at a smaller group. But I do want to remind you, this is still $1 million worth of school scholarships that we're talking about. So here's how it works. The Vax to School program is open to Ohioans from age 12 all the way up to age 25. So that covers eligible grade school students as well as college students, including those who are in graduate school. Now, 50 scholarships worth $10,000 each will be given out to winners in this drawing, and there will also be 5 grand prizes worth $100,000 each. Now, these are scholarships that can be used toward college, trade schools, and even job training. DeWine said pretty much any form of education, and in total, there will be 5 days of prize announcements the week of October 10th. Now, DeWine said he's targeting this age group because they need to be in school, and the data shows they are also the least vaccinated.
Keeping our children in school in person is a top priority for this state. We know that eligible younger Ohioans have far lower vaccination rates. The rate of first doses for Ohioans between 12 and 25 years of age is just 46% statewide.
Now, those younger Ohioans who have already been vaccinated will automatically be entered into the drawing, and more specific rules will be released next week for those who have yet to be vaccinated, including what the deadlines are. Now, remember, Governor Mike DeWine was very proud of the Vax a Million program. In fact, just moments ago, they sent us the stats in a Harvard study showing how successful it was. So they're hoping that the Vax to School program will do the same thing, have the same effect. Jay, of course, we'll have to wait and see if that actually happens.
Program so successful, we saw several states around the country imitate it and offer the exact same thing. So we'll see if this one has the same effect. Brandon Simmons live tonight on What's New. Brandon, thanks. Now, when it comes to the numbers, we saw a slight increase today from yesterday, with the state reporting 7,475 new cases of COVID. While that number is still above our 3-week average, today marks the 7th straight day that our cases were lower than they were on the same day of the week from a week ago. Our new hospitalizations are down for the 2nd straight day, down from 348 yesterday to 300 today. However, our current hospitalization statewide is up slightly from yesterday by 6 cases. Right now, there are exactly 3,700 COVID patients in Ohio hospitals.
Now on your feet at 5, some students in Euclid are back in remote learning because there aren't enough bus drivers to get them to school.
Yeah, we've been telling you about this story. It seems that it's reached an even more urgent level at this point. The district asked the governor to consider calling in the Ohio National Guard to help with this shortage. Sarah Schuchman now with us here. She found several other districts are on the edge of making this same decision. Sarah, good afternoon to you. This has really gotten serious.
Yeah, I mean, Jay and Betsy, you know, in talking with schools and other government leaders today, I think the gist is that nobody realized just how deep this problem was. It's sort of at the intersection of both the hiring shortage we've seen affecting all sorts of jobs, including drivers, and coronavirus and the number of cases that have skyrocketed in that age group, as Brandon was just talking about, leading to quarantines and things like that. In fact, Governor DeWine said this afternoon he's been hearing a lot about it, and he's trying to come up with both short-term and long-term solutions here. Euclid was forced to act this week when 25% of its bus drivers were placed in quarantine or COVID protocol. The district's 4 elementary schools and 1 middle school have been moved back to remote learning until a new plan can come together to get all of them to school fairly. Hopefully that's next week. But we've heard other larger districts like Toledo and Cincinnati are considering the same move. Some schools have already had to change start times and bus routes to use fewer drivers to transport the same number of kids. State Representative Kent Smith says he thinks Ohio could provide some immediate help here through its National Guardsmen and women.
Look, the Ohio National Guard has been used before during the pandemic to put shots into arms and deliver food, you know, for the food bank. Maybe they need to deliver children to public school buildings.
Representative Smith argues it might be just as heroic keeping Ohio school children in class. Now, it is hard to make quick hires for bus drivers. They need training, commercial driver's licenses, and thorough background checks before they're working with kids. And Governor DeWine talked about that today, too, discussing the hiring challenges, and said the state will make some moves to prioritize those state background checks to clear any backlog. But it's still weighing other options, including deploying the National Guard. He addressed that as well. So at 6, we'll talk about some of his hesitations and what else might be in the works.
That is crazy, and I can't imagine any kid on a bus acting up when there's a National Guard person driving.
In uniform,
that would be a completely different vibe on the bus, for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
We will see what happens, but I thought about that today, too. You think of what they sign up for when you join the National Guard. They have been asked to do all sorts of duties for us this year.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right, Sarah, thanks. We'll see you at 6. Switching gears now, it looks like we'll have to wait until Sunday morning to see if Browns wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. will be able to play on Sunday against the Chicago Bears. Beckham has been out since the middle of last season. You'll remember he tore his ACL. That typically is a 10 to 12-month recovery process. He was a full go at practice yesterday. We haven't heard from Beckham himself since early in the summer. However, he did speak to reporters today. Nick Camino is going to be along at 5:30. He's going to tell us what OBJ had to say in his rare appearance with reporters. I will say this. One of my former coworkers at ESPN, Louis Riddick, who really knows the game, said this about the Browns when Beckham returns. He said he believes the Browns will destroy the AFC North once Beckham is back in the lineup.
Very interesting, because last year, you know, when things started, there was definitely a change in the play of the Browns when Beckham went out.
Well,
and
if you just look at the wins, they got better.
They're not doing so bad right now. So.
His rationale was the play action fake.
Okay.
That's where the quarterback fakes it to the running back and then looks to throw deep.
Yeah.
Odell can take the top off of a defense. So we'll see.
So it could change our entire offensive plan.
That's the thinking and the hope.
I love to have options. All right, still ahead for us, another Britney Spears documentary ahead of her conservatorship battle coming to an end, where you can watch and when coming up.
There's going to be a lot of interest in that.
There's more,
the first one was good. But first, we're heading to West Virginia to check out Cleveland.
Oh.
How's that? Well, Mike Polk Jr. is going to join us next to explain what it's like living in the small community of Cleveland, West Virginia. And Jason's in for Matt. Jason, good afternoon to you.
Oh, good afternoon to you guys there, too. Hey, it wasn't our best and brightest, okay, for our Thursday, but that does not mean that it's not going to come back around. We're going to be talking about that certainly if you're going to be going out, maybe even for dinner for this evening. You may want to sit inside. I call it a warm pie sort of evening. Temperature's going to be settling into the 50s. We'll talk about that big change-up coming up.
As we all know, it has been scientifically proven that Cleveland, Ohio is the best city in the world. But were you aware that there's more than one Cleveland? Way more, in fact. While we're clearly the Alpha Cleveland,
That's it.
ain't I a goof?
I say nothing.
Hey, how we sounding there? That's so much better, right? Everybody loves it. It's the word on the street. Let me sit on this.
I don't know about all of you, but I am so looking forward to the weekend. Right around the corner, sunny skies, highs into the 70s.
Wow.
Beautiful weekend to get out and enjoy the mountains.
What mountains?
What?
What?
We don't have mountains here in Cleveland.
What? Well, I'm talking about Cleveland, West Virginia.
Well, it's likely no surprise there's more than one Cleveland. There's probably more than two Clevelands.
There's a Cleveland, Texas.
I've heard of several others, but we're, for the sake of this story, going to talk about Cleveland, West Virginia.
That's
because you wanted to find out like what it's like to live in Cleveland.
Yeah. I want to know what other Clevelanders live like.
Right, because there are
Cleveland.
so many other Clevelands, you guys. That's right. And as it turns out, we are not the only Cleveland in town. In fact, my internet sleuthing, I found 27 other states with towns called Cleveland, and I'm not very diligent, so there's probably way more. But what these other Clevelands are all about, we don't know. And do those Clevelanders how do they feel about living as a lesser-known Cleveland? I recently hit the road and headed south and west to Cleveland, West Virginia, to find out. Wait, east.
As we all know, it has been scientifically proven that Cleveland, Ohio is the best city in the world. But were you aware that there's more than one Cleveland? Way more, in fact. While we're clearly the Alpha Cleveland, there are many, many Beta Clevelands spread out all over this great land. And we thought it might be fun to visit a few of those other Clevelands to see how they compare. We chose Cleveland, West Virginia to start with due to simple proximity. Sure, we've all dreamed of winging off for a luxury vacay in Cleveland, Oklahoma, but the distance is prohibitive. So we headed out for the CLE of WV. And after journeying roughly 295 miles away from Cleveland, we finally managed to reach Cleveland.
Made it.
Cleveland, West Virginia is a small, unincorporated community located alongside the Little Kanawha River in Webster County, nearly smack dab in the middle of the Mountain State. This particular Cleveland is quiet, quaint, and clean. It's comprised of a small cluster of homes, a well-maintained roadside park, and it has a church and a post office/general store, none of which are currently in operation. According to the last census, Cleveland has a population of 95, few of whom seem to be out and about during my visit. Fortunately, I did find some residents who were gracious enough to chat with me a bit and tell me about their Cleveland.
My name is Jill Woody.
And you are from?
Cleveland, West Virginia.
We're in downtown right now.
Right.
Yep.
Cleveland, West Virginia is just country and country people and close-knit community, and if anyone needs anything, everybody's there to help them.
Cleveland, West Virginia is so small that most people traveling through it probably don't even realize they were there. The cell phone service is spotty and the nightlife leaves a bit to be desired. But it's also quite beautiful, charming, and remarkably unspoiled.
I'm Renee Anderson, and this is my husband, Dusty. It was named for Grover.
It was named for
Grover Cleveland, yeah. It had a few other names first. It was Buffalo Fork, and there was another Buffalo or something, and they named it. It became Cleveland in honor of Grover Cleveland.
That's right. Unlike our Cleveland, which was named after obscure Connecticut lawyer and land surveyor Moses Cleveland, their town is named after President Grover Cleveland, old Mr. 2 non-consecutive terms himself.
My name's Diane Chips. My name is Nellie Chips.
Imagine my shock when I learned that these ladies were actually double Clevelanders, having lived for a time in our Cleveland as well.
How do the Clevelands compare?
No comparison.
Having had the unique perspective of living in both Clevelands, which one do you prefer personally?
I think I prefer this one. Just quiet and know everybody. She enjoyed Cleveland.
You weren't a big fan. Okay, tell me why.
Too much hustle and bustle.
Too much hustle and bustle in Cleveland.
Too much hustle and bustle.
The people I met were all welcoming, proud of their town, and happy to talk about it. So, having completed my research, it was time to render a decision. Having thoroughly explored this charming town, I, Mike Polk, ambassador from Cleveland, Ohio, do hereby declare Cleveland, West Virginia to be an excellent Cleveland. That's what I'm talking about, Cleveland. So congratulations, West Virginia Clevelanders, and thank you for the hospitality. That's a mighty fine Cleveland you have there, folks. Sincere thank you to everybody who spoke with me and helped out. And just so you know, we're not done yet. We actually have a package running tomorrow that features a very prominent business there in Cleveland. Actually, I think the only business. They have a music venue there that's just built in the middle of nowhere. The bands go to play at, and it's a great music venue. The guy built it himself. Dusty, you saw Dusty in there?
Yeah, it's his.
Dusty built it himself, and we're going to talk about it tomorrow and check out that place. And
Well, it's
really
fitting that they're a musical town, too.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
It's like we're the rock and roll city.
I have a question I'm not sure I'm going to like the answer to, but based on their proximity to Pittsburgh, would you guess that more fans in Cleveland, West Virginia root for the Steelers than the Browns?
I actually did touch on that,
Yeah.
and it really did go back and forth. It's pretty much just like living in Youngstown here, I
So it's
think. Pretty much,
50-50.
where it's like, yeah, some people stuck true, and some people wanted to follow a winning team for the last 20 years. And I understand both, but now we got some more Cleveland fans.
Well, tomorrow maybe we can get that Cleveland, West Virginia merch.
Absolutely, we'll get it out.
That's
All
great.
Yep.
Great job, Mike. Love that.
Go Cleveland.
Love this jacket.
Thank you very much.
Super awesome. All right, speaking of super awesome, we do have some better weather to talk about.
Yay.
Jason's in for Matt today with the latest on all that. Howdy, Jason.
Hey there, Betsy and Jay and Mike. Mike, did you know there's a Cleveland, Mississippi, too? I did not. My old home state. Yeah, there's a Cleveland down there, too. We'll make it down there. I'm sure it's a lot warmer down there than it is right here. The theme of our weather story today is centered around the temperatures, folks, because we've had sort of a tale of two seasons. Fall started yesterday. We're now within 24 hours of the first day of fall, and what a difference it is. Yeah, we've cooled down to nearly 10 degrees from this time yesterday, all because of that frontal boundary that moved through, and we're still trying to work that low pressure system through the region. Where is it at right now? Let's do a wider scan so you can show you a bigger picture right there. Where that front is way off the I-95 eastern seaboard, where it's already struck up some flood advisories and even an earlier severe thunderstorm warning in Philadelphia. On the backside of the low, that's where the colder air is coming in, and we will get another dose of that cool down later on tonight, that sort of fall-like feel we're expecting here. And we'll have our temperatures going into the mid to low 50s yet again today. Some inland areas could be waking up with 40s tomorrow. So yeah, feeling a lot like fall waking up on our Friday morning here. We'll have some wraparound moisture to come on here. Your National Design Mark hour by hour forecast will show that we start to pack in a little bit more rain. Some off and on showers throughout the night and then early tomorrow morning. And then we sort of clear the path and offer up some sun and clouds for our Friday afternoon. Now then, that's when our next weather maker comes in. That's talking about Saturday, where we're going to be tracking our next frontal boundary come through. Another cold front, a bit of a weaker one, and keep things in perspective. That sweeps across the region late morning into the early afternoon, and that will sort of kind of offer a little bit of a cool down in terms of our temperatures. Not sort of the 70s that we're expecting tomorrow for some areas, but the mid to upper 60s come Saturday, and then high pressure moves back in. It will stabilize us going into Sunday and offer a nice day for the Browns to play at home here. So you can see where the air mass kind of sets up cooler air right now, and then warmer air comes back in from the south. Look at this undulation, coming right here for the early portion of next week, and then we sort of flatten out a little bit. Your Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecast showing that we'll have a little bit of do-si-do with our temperatures going down a little bit cooler for the weekend, and then coming up into the mid-70s. Look at this, Monday 74, 75 by Tuesday. And you know what happens again. Another front comes back in here, kind of settles it out for the end of next week. What's new continues after the break, so stay with us.
I do. We're going to be talking about Britney Spears' conservatorship and a new documentary from Netflix. Thank you.
It is time for your Thursday Pop Break, and we have some big news when it comes to TV shows.
Yeah, from SNL to Tiger King, Kiera Cotton has the latest from the entertainment world. Tiger King, really?
Yeah, we're covering all the bases today. But first, the Britney Spears conservatorship. It's something that we've talked about so heavily over the past year, and now it's getting the documentary treatment. Netflix released today the first trailer for Britney versus Spears. The documentary, produced by the streaming giant, tells the story of the pop icon's public and private search for freedom through new documents, exclusive interviews, and years-long investigative work. Britney versus Spears will be released on September 28th. And it's Throwback Thursday. Do you guys recognize this shirtless star? No? Let me help you. That is Leslie Jordan, you know, the comedian from shows like Will and Grace, American Horror Story, and of course his Instagram documentation of his quarantine that helped so many of us through the pandemic. The 66-year-old shared the picture on Instagram with the caption, "Me, wasted at 22 years old in 1977, and I'm not proud of it." And this isn't his first throwback photo. Just days ago, he posted a picture showing off his six-pack while leaning on a blue convertible. I guess we all need a chance to revel in nostalgia. And speaking of nostalgia, Saturday Night Live has been around for 47 seasons. The long-running sketch comedy show announced today the lineup for the host for this upcoming season. So who's on the list? For the month of October, we have Owen Wilson, Kim Kardashian West, Rami Malek, Jason Sudeikis, and they will all have their time in the spotlight. Musical guests will include Casey Musgraves, Halsey, Young Thug, and Brandi Carlisle. The 47th season of SNL will kick off October 2nd. Now, if you thought you left Tiger King in quarantine, you were wrong. Netflix has officially confirmed that a new season of the show, made popular by Joe Exotic and Carol Baskin, is returning. Now, it'll be back soon, but we don't have an exact release date yet.
All right.
Did you guys get wrapped up in the Tiger King saga?
Man, it was a guilty pleasure. The whole time I was watching it, I'm like, why am I looking at this? Yeah. I think my IQ is falling every second I stay with this program, but they hook you right away, and then you're kind of trapped.
I was a rebel without a cause. I purposely avoided watching it just to say, like, nope, didn't get me.
Don't peek at it for a second. But I know it made a lot of people an easy Halloween costume.
Oh, for sure.
Hopefully that'll continue.
Jay, you'll look good in Tiger Print.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to try to stay away from season 2 because I follow the news blurbs now, so I'm already up on all the changes.
Yeah.
And I just don't want to get sucked into that vortex again.
Whatever.
It was a guilty pleasure, I got to tell you.
Coming. We know it's coming.
I'll watch with one eye.
Sure thing.
Thanks, Key.
Silly. Well, coming up in the next half hour of What's New, the Summer Games wrapped up not too long ago, but the Olympic Committee is already making rules ahead of the Winter Games in Beijing. We'll tell you what was announced today, coming up.
Then the anticipation ramps up ahead of Sunday's Browns game. We're going to hear from Odell Beckham Jr. as the Browns wideout finally talked to reporters today. Nick Camino is going to be along with that.
And Shawn Mendes is coming to town. We'll tell you when and which venue. That's ahead in Clicking in Cleveland.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Let's get to 3 things to know right now at 5:30. First up, the principal of Akron's I Promise School has been placed on administrative leave. Brandi Davis is accused of hitting an 11-year-old student. The Akron Police Department shared the report with 3 News, which states the mother of the student says Davis called her and said she hit her son after he said something that she deemed offensive. Davis is a 20-year veteran of the Akron Public Schools as a teacher, assistant principal, and a graduate from the University of Akron.
Betsy, today Governor Mike DeWine announced the new Vax to School incentive program designed to do just that. The program offers chances to win scholarships to students who get the vaccine. This is only open to Ohioans from age 12 up to age 25. 50 scholarships worth $10,000 each will be given out to the winners of the drawings. And there will be 5 grand prizes that will be worth $100,000 each. In total, there will be 5 days of prize announcements that will happen the week of October 10th. DeWine says he's targeting this age group because they need to be in school, and data shows they're the least vaccinated of all Ohioans at just 46%.
And the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee says COVID vaccines will be required for the 2022 Beijing Olympic athletes. Remember that Olympics is coming up in February. The athletes will need to show proof of vaccination by December 1st. The new policy also states any athletes, staff, and others using USOPC training centers and other facilities will need to be fully vaccinated. Now, vaccination was encouraged but not required by the International Olympic Committee and the USOPC ahead of this summer's Olympic Games in Tokyo. Certainly so much to go on that. You know, the vaccine and COVID spread was very much a front and center story in that entire Olympics.
Yeah.
And you almost kind of forgot that, oh my gosh, in February we have a whole nother Olympics that's coming up. So still on the front burner.
You know, the NFL dealing with that too a bit because it's not mandating that all its players get vaccinated. And already this season, there have been several players who did not take the vaccine who have already tested positive. So it's affecting all businesses, and the NFL and the Olympics certainly not exempt from that.
It is.
Speaking of football, that leads us to our top talker here at 5:30. Is this the Sunday we finally see Odell Beckham Jr. back in a Browns uniform? Right now, he's saying, we'll have to wait and see.
Oh, come on.
He's so drama.
He's so
he is
about
so
the show,
drama.
right? It's the show. He wants the show.
But today he did speak to the media, which was nice for a change.
A show, because he never speaks.
I feel like we're going to do this all season with the way this has gone.
So here's Nick Camino joining us with the possibility of all this.
Yes, here's the deal. So you guys mentioned it. He did speak with the media today. This is the first time he's done that since his summer camp that he had back in July when he talked to the media. So this was noteworthy. Whether he's going to play or not, we don't know. I mean, I would say yes, but I would take that with the tiniest grain of salt because I've said that the last couple of weeks that he's going to play for the Browns. So he's still working his way back from that ACL surgery, but he met with the media today. He was asked point blank if he's going to play Sunday, and as you guys said, he said, quote, "We'll see." I think Browns fans are wondering if the recent injury to Jarvis Landry will accelerate the process to bring OBJ back. But today, the Browns wide receiver said, "I'm just taking things day by day."
A long time ago, before the season even came out, the original plan was, before even seeing the schedule, it was 11 months post-op. Now I'm at right around 10 and a half. So, the progression started. I started to progress faster and faster. And I definitely was itching, wanting to go against that team, but it just didn't happen today. So, like I said, I'm just following God's plan. He put me in a good place to be here right now.
All right, so here's the thing with OBJ. He has not played in an NFL game since October of 2020. And I think a lot of us are just wondering, when's he going to get out there? Because this has been something, we know he didn't play in the preseason, but all we've heard from a lot of friends and colleagues that have been out in Berea is that he's looked great and that he's practiced well and he looks good to go. So why hasn't he been out on the field? I mean, he practiced right before that Chiefs game. He was out on the field working out and things, and I just think he wasn't able to give it a go. So I thought we'd see him in week 2. Well, here we are now into week 3, and we don't know if he's playing yet. So hopefully he's out there sooner than later.
There's got to be a little nervousness, too. Going out and it's different when you're in a game. You're really putting a lot of stress on that.
Absolutely, there's
Mind
nerves.
Games
he's also making a lot of money, so you got to get out there at some point, right?
Good luck.
Yeah, but he's also thinking, too, if he suffers another injury, particularly this close to the original, it could be lights out for his career. So you do understand, looking at it from his perspective, you come back when you know you're 100% ready, and he's the only one that can tell us that. Right. He really is. And apparently, as he was getting ready for the opener, he said, I can give you some plays, but I don't think I can go the whole day. So Stefanski just put him on the inactive list and then made that decision on Wednesday of last week.
I'm not trying to rush him back. I'm just thinking the Browns need him right now.
Well, they do more than ever.
Now you're at a point where what are you going to do? Call up someone from the practice squad? They're at a point where they need him.
And he's a game changer.
Absolutely.
I said earlier in the show, Louis Riddick, who I believe knows football as well as anyone, on ESPN this morning said that he thinks that when OBJ comes back to the Browns, he's the game changer. He thinks that they will destroy, was his word, the rest of the AFC North.
See, I disagree with that.
Now, and so
I disagree with that. Listen, I love Louis Riddick, your former friend. I totally disagree.
But his logic there is the play
Come on,
fake.
the Ravens just beat the Chiefs.
They did.
I mean, the Steelers beat the Bills week one.
But you're talking about the single most explosive player on this Browns roster.
But I don't want them changing anything. Look at Betsy. She just sat back. I don't want them changing the whole offense for him. Because when they start forcing the ball to him, I feel like Baker starts to decline a little bit.
No, it's not necessarily forcing the ball. It's the play fake.
I feel like we're yelling at each other like the people you used to work with.
I feel like Betsy now knows how I used to feel.
That's exactly right.
Sitting between Skip and Stephen A. shouting. It's no fun.
I totally disagree with Louis Riddick. I disagree with him. He's fantastic. I think he should get an NFL job again in a front office.
Yeah, he will.
I totally disagree with that. And I love the Browns.
Well, we'll see. You know, the proof will be in the pudding.
I need popcorn.
Get out of here.
All right, Tuesday, I'm bringing popcorn.
See you guys.
Sure.
Thanks, Nick.
Okay.
We love the energy.
You got it.
Still ahead on What's New, dads this morning walked their kids to school. And we'll tell you why coming up ahead in Clicking in Cleveland.
Bets was looking for the earplugs.
I'm loving this.
I used to put them in from time to time.
I want to play football now.
As we welcome the first official full day of fall, we're looking into some fun facts about the season. That is our Throwdown Thursday topic. Are you ready for that,
Oh,
Betsy?
I'm ready now.
All
Definitely.
Right. Let's go.
Fired up. I'm going to start yelling and everything. All right. First, though, here is Jason with a look at what's coming up in the forecast.
Oh, all of that sounds good to me, Betsy and Jay. Hey, take a look outside. Temperatures were struggling to get out of the 50s today. Did you have enough of it? Well, I have a little bit to talk to you about coming up a little bit in the forecast. We got 70s making their way back into Northeast Ohio. I'll tell you when after the break.
Do you hear me? Okay, good. What's clicking in Cleveland today? We're talking about the Father's Walk and Darius Garland. Okay.
Really, Nick, it's okay. You're allowed to have an opinion.
He popped in to apologize.
He just walked into the studio and apologized. He's all fired up about it, certainly. You know, I just love my weather team. We have very calm, just reassuring talks every day. It's all good.
It just makes you feel good. It brings a smile to my face. Fall is actually my favorite season. I can appreciate all other seasons.
Right?
You know, but you know, there's something about fall. It just wants to wrap you up.
Mm-hmm.
Just want to hug on you a little bit.
Yep.
Now, winter coming, that's a whole different story here.
That's
but
true.
friends, we have had such a big change here in central or at least northeast Ohio. When you look at our temperatures here, we're about averaging maybe about 10 to 15 degrees cooler from this time yesterday because of the cold front that moved through. It did cause some disturbances, and that's what it's been doing over to the northeast right now. Once we get that wraparound moisture to kind of lift north and out of here, I think that's when we can clear the clouds out and we can warm our temperatures back up. And that seems to be happening in just about 24 hours from now. Where's the front right now? Where's the area of low pressure? Where most of it is still over towards the west. You can see that classic cyclonic flow right there, pulling in some south winds, which is what we have here in northeast Ohio currently. It's averaging, again, about 10 to 15 miles per hour sustained winds. But when we look at the evening and then the overnight, are our temperatures getting better? Where they're not really getting too much worse. We're going to stay in the 50s for the most part. Some areas down south could maybe coast up to the upper 40s in some areas, but again, for the most part, we'll be in the 50s here. Again, as we move forward here, we're tracking a little bit more moisture here in your National Design Mart hour-by-hour forecast. Notice that we start to track in a little bit more light rain, not too terrible. Winds lighten up a little bit as well as we make our way through our Friday. We peel back the clouds, we allow for more sunshine, and then that's where we start to lift our temperatures. Upper 60s, low 70s expected to come tomorrow, and then our next weather maker enters into the picture. Stage left, you can see that we're tracking that cold front early Saturday morning. Notice it bringing quite a bit of moisture along with it as well. We could be talking about a few claps of thunder. Once it moves through, it's likely going to have a little bit more steam to kind of get on through here and get on out of here, and it should be clearing the region for the most part west to east into the early afternoon. Around 5-6 p.m. we should be safely clear here, and then high pressure moves back in and sort of calms things out, and we're going to make for a better Sunday rather than your Saturday. But all in all, we won't be squeezing out too much moisture. The drought monitor came down today, and you can see where our improvement has been happening here, and we'll likely have a few crunchy areas, but those cooler temperatures can safely take us on into fall, and we can see that beautiful fall foliage we love to see here in northeast Ohio. Warm air surges back in towards the beginning of next week, and that'll push our temperatures into the mid to low 70s for us come Monday, Tuesday, and then we have a new front that comes in. Notice this, about 74, 75 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday down to 70 and 60s return by the end of the week. Jay?
All right, Jason, thank you very much. Right now, it's time to see what's clicking in Cleveland, and for that, we bring in our digital anchor, Stephanie Haney. Stephanie, good Thursday afternoon to you.
Good Thursday to you, Jay, and good Thursday to everybody at home. You know, we've got big names that keep rolling in through town, and we have another one on his way. With his latest album, Wonder, Shawn Mendes is now one of just 3 male artists to have 4 #1 albums at 22 years old, and he's bringing his Wonder the World Tour show to Cleveland in July. He'll be at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, and tickets go on sale for everyone on October 7th. If you want in on the pre-sale, go to WKYC.com to see how, and you could get your tickets as early as next Wednesday. Cleveland Cavaliers point guard Darius Garland has a very big fan, and it's Golden State Warriors star Stephen Curry. Longtime NBA reporter Jackie McMullen said when she recently talked with Curry, it was clear that he loves Garland a lot. She said a lot, and that he thinks Garland will be a flat-out star. And he's not the only Warrior who thinks highly of the Cavs' number 5 2019 draft pick. Draymond Green says he's one of the hardest players to guard. That's high praise from the former Defensive Player of the Year, and sounds good heading into the next season. And if you saw a bunch of guys walking kids to school today, it's because today was the Father's Walk. This started in Cuyahoga County in 2006, and it's grown from there. So today, fathers and father figures walked little ones to school, or at least to the bus stop. This serves as a reminder of the importance of being involved in children's education year-round. And our own Matt Wentz participated today with Emmy, who we did all love seeing help him with the forecast. I think we have a photo of him coming up there. You know, of course, he's out today celebrating his anniversary with Stephanie, his wife, so we wish him well celebrating that. If you haven't seen it, check out his Instagram. It's Wince Weather. But you know what, Jay and Betsy, what I find is really interesting about this is that it's based in research. And research does show that if you have a father or a male figure invested in your education, that the children do tend to have better grades and also be more invested in the education.
Yeah, that research is overwhelming. Yeah. It's not by a little bit, it's overwhelming.
Brandon Simmons was out walking his Brielle to class too, so certainly a lot of fathers out there. It's great to see it.
Very cool to see.
Thanks, Steph.
Thanks.
Next up, what's new? The first full day of fall really came in with a 1-2 punch today. We all felt that crisp air this morning. But coming up, we're going to find out how much we know about the season. From decor spending to why leaves change colors, it's all in today's Throwdown Thursday.
Oh, geez, I got butterflies in my tummy on that one. All right, then a 79-year-old Navy veteran becomes a TikTok star. We're going to show you more of Kenny ahead and show us something good. Oh yeah, it's Throwdown Thursday. And as you probably know, yesterday we officially welcomed autumn.
We haven't done this in a while.
I know.
We really haven't.
It's nice. You got the uniform, of course, and
well,
everything.
the ref.
Sure, obviously.
The MC.
Thank
so
you
here's
for
the way
your
it
Halloween.
works. I think we have 4 or 5 questions. I don't know.
Autumn is the theme.
Cleveland leg lamp is at stake. It's been on Betsy's in the Weather Center for like 2 months because we haven't done one in a while. Yeah. So take it away.
Okay, I'm going to ask you guys
about fall.
12 questions. I want to remind everybody to keep it clean. I know you guys get very competitive. I thought I was going to have to run in here when you were arguing with Nick Camino and break that up. But luckily you guys got it under control. Thank you for taking care of that. All right, here are your questions about fall.
Okay.
Question 1, how many pounds of pumpkins are produced each year in the U.S.? You don't know this off the top of your head?
I don't.
A, about 7 million. B, about 14 million. I've got a ring in.
Oh, that would be the cling, cling, ching, ching.
That is Betsy. Go ahead.
Betsy. I'm going to go with 14 million.
Okay, I will complete the question.
Oh.
A, I guess I won't. Never mind. Do you have a guess?
I would say the biggest number. It was in the billions, but
it's 1.5 billion, so that's right.
I thought that would be the money associated with it.
That's okay. That's all right. That's a good starting point. Don't worry.
One for me.
Just remember, we're all here celebrating autumn together. Let's keep it clean. Question 2. What causes leaves to change color? A,
Betsy's pretty good
photosynthesis, B, production of chlorophyll, C, oxygen and glucose, aka sugar, or D, all of the above.
Wow.
You're not going to ring in?
I'll ring
Okay.
in.
Okay.
Science.
I'm going to
girl.
go with all of the above.
Yeah, that's what I was
All of
gonna
the
say,
above is
too.
correct.
There are a lot of technical
Safe
terms
bet.
there. Go
Yeah,
with
nobody's
it.
just going to throw glucose in something if it's not. If it's all right. So you're right. Now we're all tied up.
2-1. No, because
Oh,
the second question's worth 2 points.
All right.
And the third one's worth 3
Let him
points.
keep
I'm going to
score.
trust your math on that.
He's good.
Okay. Question number 3. True or false? Pumpkin spice isn't actual. Go ahead.
I know this. No, it's not. It's not. It's not a.
True or false? Pumpkin spice isn't actual pumpkin.
Oh!
The answer is
It's good.
It's not. False.
it's true.
Oh my gosh.
Pumpkin spice isn't actually pumpkin. That is true. And just so you know, the spice mixture is usually a blend of warming spices like cinnamon, ginger, and
Well,
nutmeg.
I knew the answer, but I somehow got it wrong.
Yeah,
I know it's not.
I tried to give you like 9 chances to phrase it properly, but I think
this is like Jeopardy. If you don't answer in the form of a
eventually, I've got to
question.
throw the flag.
All
So
right.
I'm sorry. Point Betsy.
So
That's all right.
No, I just lose points. That's
all right. Well, never mind. You know what you're doing over there. Okay, question number 4 in this fall-time fun trivia game we've got going.
Oh, yes, lovely.
What was the original name for fall? Okay,
we did this last year. It was Harvest.
The correct answer is harvest.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well done.
Wow.
We did it last year.
That's
I
not
remember.
cheating. That means you learned something and you applied it later in life.
And I actually remembered it,
Yes.
which
So
is rare.
It's not like you didn't peek at the answer. It was last year.
We did it last year. Not in this form, but we had it on the show.
Okay, so
I'm really glad it wasn't the last one, so nobody got any misconstrued pronunciation.
that wouldn't have been good.
Yeah.
You're right. Okay, we got one more, guys.
Change that one up a little.
And then we got one more, guys, and then Jay will tell us who won.
Yeah. It's close right now.
All right, it's close. That's all we need to know.
This is going to decide it.
Question 5.
Carry the one.
On average, how much is spent on Halloween decor each year? A, $900,000. B, $1.2 billion. Or C, $2.6 billion. I've got Betsy there.
I'm going C, 2.6 billion.
Let's check it out. $2.6 billion is correct. We are a fundamentally broken nation that spends money on all the wrong things, and it's fun to be a part of it. Congratulations, Betsy. You win the first Throwdown Thursday of fall. Jay, good run, buddy. You're going to get him next time. I believe that. The leg lamp belongs to her.
Thanks for all the support. I appreciate the
I'm so
moral
glad
support.
I don't have to unplug it, because crawling under the desk.
Yeah,
man,
it
gets a
can-
little
it can- it
shaky
can be
under
problematic.
There. It's been sitting there so long, like there's dust and stuff around.
You know why I wanted to win it back? So I can use that as a natural light for my plant on my desk.
Oh, you really need it.
I do need it.
Pragmatic reasons.
You heard about our plant
did.
throwdown.
We've got a
so
little
I know, I did.
competition.
now we
going.
have to keep something alive at the same.
We really should be pulling out of a shot of that leg lamp right now at the end of
It
every
is
one
in
of
the
these.
weather
There it is.
center
I know
with
it's in the
over
weather
there.
center.
My junk piled in front of it.
Congratulations to all.
All right, thank you, Mike. That transitions us to our Worth the Watch today. It comes to us from Buffalo, New York, where a minor league baseball game was delayed for a couple of minutes last night because Rookie the dog, there he is, absolutely adorable, decided he was going to get into the game one way or another. This happened in the first inning. And Rookie decides, playing Buffalo, here he comes. Where's the tennis ball?
Yay!
I know it's out here somewhere.
Go, buddy, go!
You know what they did to Rookie, Bets? He was thrown out of the game.
No.
Yes, he was.
A fan favorite, I guarantee you.
Well, it probably got one of the loudest applauses of the evening.
Absolutely.
But here he comes, just barreling onto the field. Who's out here to love me? I know someone is.
He's the bat dog, but apparently he thought he was supposed to be chasing the stick at that point.
Yes, apparently.
Whoops.
Well, that's a adorable clip of video, and we're glad that that Rookie got loose.
Oh, little tail
But now he's going into the penalty box for a while. Next on What's
Wrong
New?
sport.
TikTok has a brand new star, Betsy. We're going to tell you what makes this man super special and how his neighbors are helping out along the way. It's next. It's our show of Something Good.
Then on What Matters Most at 6, as we continue Hispanic Heritage Month, we'll share a story about community and how trust is an integral part of sharing important health information.
And as long as we're in the business of asking questions, here's a pop quiz for you today. Which fictional city did the Jetsons live in? Was it Jet City, Orbit City, or Flyover City?
I know this one.
You do?
I do.
I have it down to 2. I know it wasn't Flyover City. The answer's coming up.
drink conversation.
All right, here it is, the answer to our quiz.
We're arguing over
The
shows
Jetsons
now.
and the Flintstones.
Yeah.
We asked you the name of the fictional city the Jetsons lived in. And Betsy is certain she knows this. By the way, it aired for the first time on this date in 1962. Betsy, where'd they live?
Orbit City.
You are correct. Yeah, it was. I thought Sarah's option of Flyover City was very creative.
It was clever.
It was very clever.
Yeah, it was a good try. I always love the salty, sassy house robot. The maid there.
It's a great show.
Cool. All right, today's show is something good comes from Minnesota. A 79-year-old Navy veteran known for riding his patriotic scooter around town is TikTok's newest star. Kenny's neighbor makes educational videos for the deaf community on the social media platform. So Kenny learned some sign language and posted videos to the account. The followers loved him immediately. Just after 1 week, his beloved scooter broke down and it couldn't be fixed. All right, so his neighbor helped him make another video to promote a GoFundMe fundraiser, and it surpassed $90,000.
I didn't think I'd get $1,000, you know? And look what happened. Famous, you know? I'm so honored.
I love that guy. The additional money will help Kenny get some new teeth, move into a safer home, and pay off debt. He also plans to pay some of it forward to other vets in need.
What a great story.
He's the one you just put that camera right in front of him and let him tell stories.
Famous.
You can tell. Famous.
You are. We're out of time. We're back tomorrow at 5, and we certainly invite you to join us then.
What Matters Most with Russ and Lena starts right now.
Now at 6, off the job. The principal at the LeBron James I Promise School in Akron is suspended tonight after an incident involving a student. Will Ewick will have the latest. Also, Vax to School.
The best way to stay in school is to become vaccinated.
Scholarship money and lots of it up for grabs under Governor DeWine's new vaccine incentive program. We'll have details. Transportation trouble. The impact COVID is having on some local school districts' busing programs, with many schools looking at other ways to get kids to class. And OBJ speaks out. Usually not a man of many words, the Brown Star talks today about what's ahead for him after his injury.
From the WKYC studios, this is What Matters Most.
And good evening. Thanks for being with us. I'm Russ Mitchell.
And I'm Lena Lai. Tonight, the principal of LeBron James I Promise School in Akron is on administrative leave after allegations that she hit a student. Will Ewick has the details from Akron.
This school is like no other. We are going to be that groundbreaking school that will be a nationally recognized model.
That was Davis back in 2018, preparing to lead the charge at the I Promise School when it first opened its doors to students. In the police report, the mother of the student says Davis called her and said she hit her son after he said something she deemed offensive. A source tells 3 News that the principal lost her cool and slapped a student across the face in front of others. Davis, a 20-year veteran of the Akron Public Schools, a teacher, assistant principal, and a graduate from the University of Akron. District spokesperson Mark Williamson released a statement to 3 News saying, quote, Akron Public Schools has begun an investigation into an allegation that a child was struck by a staff member at I Promise School. We take all such allegations seriously, while also respecting the rights of staff accused of wrongdoing to due process. IPS Principal Brandi Davis has been placed on administrative leave pending the outcome of our fact-finding investigation, end quote. 3 News is the media partner of the LeBron James Family Foundation, and we reached out to them about this matter. They sent a statement saying, quote, we are family, and that means we support every one of our I Promise educators, students, and family members through anything they may be going through. In this and in every case, we will always do everything we can to make sure all are loved and supported during these times as we learn and grow as a family, end quote.
Davis has not only been the principal here at the I Promise School since it began in 2018, but she's also been on the board of the LeBron James Family Foundation since it began as well. A story that will continue to follow, bring you all the details here as well as online, WKYC.com. Lena.
All right, thanks for the update, Will.
Remember the Vax-A-Million lottery of a few months ago? Well, today, Governor DeWine announced a new incentive to get younger Ohioans vaccinated. This program is called Vax to School and will offer $1 million in scholarships.
Brandon Simmons explains who is eligible and why the governor is targeting this group.
We all remember Ohio's Vax-A-Million lottery earlier this year. The incentive program for vaccinated Ohioans was designed to convince more people to get shots and was even replicated by other states. Today, Governor Mike DeWine is at it again.
Today, I am pleased to announce Ohio Vax to School program.
It's a clear spinoff of the program DeWine believes was a huge success, this time targeting a specific age group that is the least vaccinated thus far at just 46%.
This Vax to School program will be open to all Ohioans aged 12 to 25.
Those in that age range will enter a lottery to win one of 50 $10,000 scholarships with 5 additional $100,000 grand prize scholarships. A total of $1 million is up for grabs in 5 drawings held the week of October 10th. The money can be used on college, trade school, and other forms of education, including job training.
Keeping our children in school, in person, is a top priority for this state.
That priority has been threatened by the latest COVID-19 surge that is unfortunately hitting kids harder than we've seen throughout the pandemic.
That if you're young and unvaccinated, it's only a question of when, not if, you'll get COVID-19. And with Delta, it's now making younger Ohioans who aren't vaccinated very sick.
And now DeWine hopeful we can slow the spread by rolling out another incentive program targeting Ohio's youth.
Vaccinations remain our ticket out of this pandemic. Vaccinations are the way that we stop our hospitals from being overcrowded.
Now, the money for Vax to School comes from federal coronavirus relief funds. And next week, the Ohio Department of Health and the Ohio Lottery Commission will hold a press conference, Russ, with more details on exactly how the program works.
Okay, Brandon Simmons, thank you.
The number of COVID cases in Ohio continues its upward trend. Today, the State Department of Health reporting 7,475 new cases of COVID in the last 24 hours. That is up from yesterday's count, which was 6,882 cases. And new tonight, the CDC voted this afternoon to back the Pfizer booster shot. This after the FDA authorized a 3rd dose for emergency use in people ages 65 and up, as well as those 18 and older at high risk of severe illness. The CDC's decision opens the door for millions of older or otherwise vulnerable Americans to get a booster shot. Now, this is only for the Pfizer shot. Those who got Moderna and Johnson & Johnson shots will have to wait to see if boosters will be allowed for those vaccines.
In Euclid, some students are back to remote learning because there are not enough bus drivers to get them to school. Governor DeWine says he is hearing concerns from districts across the state. In fact, Euclid even requested that he call in the National Guard to help. Sarah Shookman is here now to explain the issue and the solutions currently on the table. Hi, Sarah.
Yeah, Russ, this is kind of 2 issues coming together here. It's both the coronavirus and related quarantines and the larger hiring crisis that is hitting all sorts of industries. School bus drivers need training, commercial driver's licenses, and thorough background checks before working with children. They aren't easy to replace. So Euclid was forced to act this week when 25% of its bus drivers were placed in quarantine or COVID protocols. The district's 4 elementary schools and 1 middle school have been moved back to remote learning until a new plan can come together to get all of them to school fairly. Hopefully, that's next week. Euclid's superintendent, Chris Paporis, called on the governor to deploy the National Guard to help. Governor DeWine addressed the challenge today during his coronavirus news conference.
Whenever you pull someone in from the National Guard, they're leaving a job. These are not people who are just sitting around waiting for us to call them. So if we were to pull in people who are legally qualified to drive a bus, they might be leaving another position, that was very, very significant.